So in my career as a professional cartoonist, I drew almost 3-4 cartoons every day. But I didn't give a thought to the process of drawing cartoons. When IMT Ghaziabad invited me to speak, I started thinking about the subject for the first time. In the next 10 minutes or so, I would like to share my thoughts with you all. So I assume that all of you must have seen this visual. In comic books or animation films, when a character in some kind of trouble, it tries to think a way out. While it is thinking, suddenly a brightly lit bulb appears in a thought balloon. Something like this. The bulb is always switched on. You can see those lines which shows that it's on. With simple language, we call it like the person or the character has got an idea. Today we will discuss how cartoonists get an idea. Whatever I'm going to share today is based entirely on my personal experience, and I'm not claiming that it applies to each and every cartoonist. I have never discussed this subject with others before. So I wake up in the morning and look for ideas. So the entire time goes that how to bring that bulb from there to my thought balloon. So to get an idea, the very first thing I'll have to do is to find out what is happening around me or around the world. So let me give you an example. It is entirely hypothetical example, nothing to do with the reality. So when in the morning I check my phone for the news, because nobody reads newspaper nowadays, for the subject of my cartoon. And suppose I discover that my best friend had a breakup last night. Now I want to share this news with my girlfriend. I call her up. She doesn't pick up her phone. Instead, I get a text message from her saying that she is breaking up with me. In this emotional moment, I switch on the TV and the breaking news flashes on the screen that a neighboring country had a breakup with my country and there is some scuffle going on at the border. So now I have 3 breakup stories playing in my mind. Any one of these could be a possible subject for the next day's cartoon. I have to choose one of these. My own breakup is the biggest story for me. But the problem is that nobody except me and my girlfriend knows about it. So nobody will be able to understand or connect with the cartoon. So if I chose to draw about my friend's breakup, the number of people knowing about the subject may be slightly bigger than my own breakup, but it will not be big enough. So I look at the third breakup. This is certainly very big. The whole country knows about it, and every citizen is concerned. So for me, this will be the news of the day. This is how we decide that what subject we are going to address in the next day's cartoon. After finalizing the subject, I need to do some research and read up the news. So this is pre-internet era. The newspapers offices used to have libraries. So one had to go to the library to find out more about that news. Good thing is that we have internet these days. Internet has made work easy. But a cartoonist has limited time to research, and so he has to go to some credible news sources. to find out what exactly has happened. After knowing the subject well, it is time to decide what I want to say on the subject. And this is very important thing. What is the statement I want to make about this particular news? And you all must have heard that with great power comes great responsibility. So the statement I'm going to make has to be a responsible statement. Here I'm thinking that how I should treat the subject. Which hammer should I use to say to express my thoughts? Should it be an iron hammer or wooden hammer? People might think that cartoons are just funny business, but a political cartoonist should never think like that. For him, it is the most serious business on the earth. I cannot say something meaningless just for the sake of saying it. This is one of many differences between politicians and cartoonists. You need to be accurate. Obviously, we all know that cartoonists exaggerate situations. But as a cartoonist, I should always keep in mind that the statement I'm going to make should not instigate people. There are several other filters which we always apply in our daily life. Always remember, cartooning is not abusing. Everybody has a moral compass. Whenever we speak and whatever we speak, it passes through that moral compass. So before making a statement, think over it. Think from various angles. Think as much as possible. And after covering all the possible angles, now I am ready to go to the next step, which is finding the right imagery. There is one important break here, because nowadays information inflow is so fast and situations keep changing so quickly that at this point I go back and check my facts again. In fact, I keep checking them all the time. Like once I was almost ready with my idea to start drawing a cartoon on China, and suddenly I heard TV saying, "Na koi ghusaya hai, na koi ghusa hua hai." And I had to go back to the first step. So we need to keep updating ourselves all the time. So let's come to imagery now. After deciding what I'm going to say, I start working on how I'm going to say it. I try to keep in mind that I need to use an imagery which my readers can connect easily. So if you try to recall, you will realize that you keep seeing such imagery all the time. For example, a man marooned on an island. I'm sure all of you must have seen at least one cartoon where somebody is marooned on an island. This, I think, is the most exploited idea in the world. And still cartoonists are using it. I too have used it many times. Basically, this image depicts that somebody is stuck somewhere and no help can reach there. So if I want to make a statement, for example, that the opposition is stuck, I can use this image. There are other images too, like a very thin, weak rickshaw puller is pulling a man who is very healthy, and he might be eating something while sitting on the rickshaw, being pulled by that weak man. Or a man milking a cow, or a baby crying, and so on. All these images depict something and can be used as similes to various situations. Sometimes we use images from fables familiar to everybody, like tortoise and rabbit story, or how a fox jumping to get grapes, but it is unable to reach it, or a reporter with a mic asking question, or it could be any image. So most of the time, these images are part of our daily lives. So the readers can connect with them easily. All we have to do is imagine an imagery which represents that my statement accurately. Suppose if the images we have seen just now, if we convert them into cartoons, so how would we do it? So we can draw, instead of that lonely person, we can put a leader of opposition there, who on particular day you find that he's lonely, is stuck somewhere. or somebody is milking the cow of religion for vote, or if you think that there is a leader who is very fast and nobody is near him, you can put his face here. Or there are people who never reply to a direct question. So you can change those images into cartoons like this. So now I have got my statement, I have spotted the subject. So do you think that this is my eureka moment? I don't think so. So what is more left here? Even Archimedes decided to shout eureka, eureka as soon as he got an idea about how to solve the problem. But I would say, let's wait. After deciding the imagery, now start the drawing part. A cartoonist must have some degree of drawing talent. I'm sorry to say, but if you cannot draw, you cannot be a cartoonist. I don't know about the future. In future, there might be some kind of tech which can convert your thoughts into images. But as of now, you need to draw a cartoon to be a cartoonist. Different cartoonists use different methods to draw. Most of them draw a rough visual on paper with a pencil. They keep drawing until they are satisfied with the drawing. Once they are happy with the drawing, they use a black ink to finalize the drawing. Again, different cartoonists use different methods. Some use brush, some prefer pens. For drawing caricature, all of them use photos as reference. Some of us keep drawing caricatures in their free times and then use it whenever they need it. It's a time-saving exercise. After finishing the drawing, we scan the cartoon and send it to publication. So some of us, like me, don't draw on paper. I draw it directly on a digital tablet. There are many available in the market right now. There are many softwares too which support drawing. Now you have got iPad also where you can draw anything. After finishing the cartoon, when I post it on social media and somebody comes and abuses me without even reading the cartoon, that is my eureka moment. Thank you.